Hey, everybody, welcome to Hammer Time. We're back. Hammer, this weekend was the Super Bowl, as you know.
Yep.
Watched it in your living room.
True.
It was a little bit awkward for me because I was rooting for the Los Angeles Rams, and the guy sitting 2 inches from me was not rooting for the Los Angeles Rams.
I did accidentally seat you next to the Bengals fan.
Yeah. I was sitting next to our good friend Chris Glass, who's from the Cincinnati area, and I was like screaming on the inside, but like when it actually happened and the Rams won, I was like, I feel horrible.
It was really fun as an outsider to watch you two struggle through the whole game. Anything dope would happen on either side. Both people were like, yeah.
Tough one there. Bengals.
It was a pretty good pass.
He almost had him, though.
It was a pretty good pass. Yeah. Trying to be both trying to be very cordial about it.
Hindsight, we should have watched separate from each other.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Beth goes, what's the matter with you guys? Because we were both sitting there because, there's a 4-point difference forever. And that 4 points felt like 40, felt like 4 touchdowns.
Okay.
And Beth looks at us, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like breathing, and Chris is breathing, and she says, like, what's with you guys? I'm like, Beth, nobody's having fun right now. Nobody's having fun. This isn't fun. Yeah. Nobody's having fun right now.
Beth didn't understand that sports actually sucks the further you go.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
The further your team goes, it gets worse and worse to where it's actually not fun. Me and Brian have had many not fun times watching playoff hockey. Where we're like, I just want this to be over. I want to just go home and go to sleep and wake up and look at the score.
Which makes me wonder, imagine being those players, right? Like you win the NFC or AFC, or you know that your team's going on to the Cup, and then they give you 2 weeks to just get crazy inside of your head, right? Like 2 weeks to be like, I hope I don't mess up. I hope this goes. I hope I don't look like an idiot.
Yep.
Like I think that them taking that week off in the middle to hype it up more, it's just got to make the players just go even more crazy.
It has to mess with their mental.
Because it always comes out of the gate. The Super Bowl always starts off like a little bit slow and a little bit off because they literally have been this well-oiled machine, and now they haven't done anything other than get inside their head for 2 weeks.
And do weird stuff. Like I think the Bengals practiced at like UCLA or something.
Yeah.
So they're like practicing at weird places and it's shot.
It's got to make you crazy. But I was thinking about this. You guys being big NHL hockey fans, what do you think's worse? Potential 7 games.
Yep.
You don't know what city you're going to potentially win in. You don't know if it's going to go 4 or go 7. And also there's this idea of like maybe in, the third period, you're like, tonight's not our night, but we'll get them tomorrow night. But in the NFL, it's like that second half. Like I enjoy the halftime and we'll talk about that.
Yep.
But it's just like, I was just Bob Barker. I was just counting time the whole time. I'm doing math. I'm thinking about everything. I'm like, this sucks. Like the sudden death of the NFL is what makes it awesome, but it's what makes it so stressful.
Yeah.
It's just I think it's hard too because the game can be decided by things that are outside of player control. I mean, that one Bengals touchdown was for sure a penalty.
Yep.
And he got a touchdown off of it. And then I'll say at the end of the game, the Rams penalties, those were maybe questionable or soft, and I don't know if they're makeup.
Hey,
calls
refs got bets too.
Yeah. So so it's just like if you only have one game that. If a ref makes a bad call in a hockey game, there's another game. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
a different set of referees.
And a different set of referees. So it's like that one game, it's like it could be everything is hinging on that if it's a clean game.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I don't know. I think about the back and forth, and I lean into thinking that the NFL is superior because it's one and done and it's that much tension. But I also think about being, like a hockey player or in the NBA or Major League Baseball, and you have to go through that same adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
And then you also have to get into a plane and fly to their town and then hope that you make it back to your fans. Like it just goes all over the place. But this year was one of those generational moments where I remember back around, the turn of the millennium where all of a sudden every commercial was about these websites and search engines. And I kept thinking about people that aren't online yet. Like how much of that were they understanding when it's like, what's a Yahoo, or what's a Twitter? Yep. And I kept thinking about at that moment, like how many people at home watching got all of those internet references, and this was the crypto Super Bowl. Everything was digital currency. And I kept thinking, like, how many people at home are actually even understanding what the sponsor is trying to convey?
I think it's Whitney Cummings always talks about crypto. And she's like, what's the deal? Is it real? Is it not? And then she's like, she'll have things. She'll be like, okay, crypto's real because. And after this, she was like, okay, crypto's definitely not real because I definitely have never seen commercials for money.
Right.
Why is money putting commercials out?
That's a good point.
This is weird.
I think they're more educational, right? They're trying to get people to. You don't need to educate people on dollars because that's what you use, as a child. So something new and innovative,
I mean, my pushback would be that they do advertising for investment companies and things you can do with your money. And I think a lot of people aren't looking at crypto and these type of currencies as like, I want to go out and spend it. It's more of taking real dollars and converting them into digital dollars, and hopefully it goes up a little bit. So I think people see it more as an investment thing.
For sure.
But yeah, you're right. Like, you've never seen them like, guess what? The U.S. government, we just made money.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to get some of this money.
I'm Larry David. I'm here to talk about euros. They're sick.
So, SoFi Stadium, state of the art, amazing thing to have here in Los Angeles. But I have a major complaint about the halftime. Being a quote unquote outdoor stadium arena, we saw everything in the first 2 seconds of the halftime show. Typically a halftime show, in my opinion, the way to make it great, you know this, Biggie, you know production, it should be one person on a very small stage, and that's all that's lit. And then slowly it gets bigger, and another person comes out, and a second stage, and then props start emerging. Like, not only did you see the entire caboodles or playset that they were on, like right in the first 10 seconds, but NBC even did the major no-no of showing Dre and Snoop walking out to the field at the commercial break before the halftime. And then they also, when they came back from that commercial break, they're like, here's the stage. And it's like there was no hidden mystery at all.
This is the stage they'll take right after break. And there's like dancers that are like, okay, I'm here. And then you're are we 10 feet?
No.
Yeah.
I think you'd be over here. Over here. Took away the magic.
By the way, here's our gaff tape cam sponsored by Bitcoin, where you can see where everybody's going to stand.
Sponsored by Gaff Tape. Who makes this anyways? Who's Gaff? It's a brand.
But you know what I mean, Biggie? Like, the idea of a concert is that you slowly reveal one thing after another.
I feel like in general they made such a big deal about the halftime show this year. Maybe it's because since our demographic was talking about it so much, it felt like it was in the forefront, that they knew so many people were tuning in for this halftime. They were maybe giving a little extra, just like, here's Dre and Snoop about to go on. Halftime felt like
trying to pump it.
Yeah, like
pump
it's coming. And dude, at least at my house, it worked.
Yeah.
All the moms, like, oh, look at Dre and Snoop are coming. Hi,
they were yelling.
California love,
You better get in here.
Wow.
And it worked. Like all the memes that came out and said, like, this is how your parents are going to be acting.
Yep.
Straight up, at least at my house, it was 100% accurate.
Yep.
For me, though, I would think that the first time that I want to see Snoop or Dre is I want to hear those piano keys. You know what I mean? Like, I want to hear the music, and that's the first time I want to see them. I mean, Biggie, that's why it's called backstage, not front stage, right? I mean,
so you respected the 50 Cent reveal.
Well, now here's another thing.
Whole dollar reveal. Poor guy.
I feel really bad for 50 because
he's like a 50-year-old dude that's jacked. He still looks great to me.
Just not great upside down.
I think he looked great. I'm not going to body shame him, upside down or not.
Hey, I'm the one with the 50 Cent tattoo. But what I found interesting about 50 is that somebody said, here's the thing. You're going to be the big surprise.
Right.
Which was a polite way of saying you're going to get no promotion.
Yeah.
Because everybody else was in all those Pepsi commercials, all those spots. So it's like, hey, guess what? You're the big surprise. And you're not going to sell any records up,
And he's like, okay, this is great news. Like, what promo do I get to be in?
You get to get memed.
You
get to become a meme.
Your promo's coming after.
I bet people listen to his shit, though, after.
For sure.
They have to.
Oh, after.
But he's also probably like, okay, that's fine. That's fine.
This is what I don't get, though. Why
what do I get paid?
Why was it 50?
Well, those are all proteges of Dre, right?
Yeah, but See, I thought they were doing an L.A. based thing.
No, because
No.
Eminem wouldn't be
Mary
there.
J. Blige.
I
He's from
remember
New
the
York.
Mary J. Blige thing.
Eminem.
He's
Yeah.
from Detroit.
Yeah. Okay, I guess
It was
so.
kind of. I took it as they asked Dre if he would want to do it, and I think he took the producer's mindset and sort of curated Dre Fest, if you will.
Gotcha.
And everybody there was sort of one of his big accomplishments. And like, was it you that said, "How do you think Dre feels about faking the mixing board in front of
Oh
a
yeah,
million
he's like,
people?"
oh yeah, doing volume. Yeah, fuck. I don't know. He's
Yeah, I
like,
mean, even Kendrick Lamar's his crew had Dre. I mean, Dre Day was everywhere.
Yeah.
on, like
Those
signs
boxes.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
So, how do you rank this one? You think did it live up to the hype? You think it was a good halftime show? I mean,
I thought it was cool.
I thought the performance was good. I hated the daylight thing just because it was
Yeah.
very flat. I mean, it was great, but I felt like the excitement was like this, where it should have been
Yeah.
slowly
Yeah.
building up and up and up.
Anything during the day sucks, and you just get that on West Coast time Super Bowl.
Right.
If that same Super Bowl's in New York, it probably would have been amazing because it would
Right.
have been nighttime. Like,
Yeah.
that's just like
yeah, is it the year? Was it Lady Gaga who appeared? Like,
That one was.
like
came
she was
down.
like she was
Yeah.
super far away.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
super
The
high
Weeknd
up.
one
and
was
then-
sick.
yeah.
Lady Gaga
Like,
was sick.
yeah.
The Weeknd was sick.
Yeah.
Prince.
Yep.
I think
top tier.
for sure. Again, you're mentioning like Prince was sick, but when you mention like one artist at a time, then they gotta like shake up production.
Yeah.
This production was Eminem, Mary J. Blige, 50
Yeah.
Cent. You know, that's some of what's that quote? Some of all whole part.
Yep. When they said that, when they said that the production cost $7 million, I was like, they could have pulled up, they could have cut the sides out of some Airstreams,
Dude.
and like really.
I hate being that guy for sure, but when Eminem came out and the side exploded and it just looked like it looked
like
like
a toy.
two
It was like-
two
it was like
pieces
a toy. It
of
was
yeah,
like a
two
toy
pieces
thing.
of cardboard fell off and it's like yeah, Eminem.
Like the toy
It's like-
explosion that you buy, like a toy like that, like a GI Joe
I
explosion.
hate
like,
being
oh,
that-
exploding walls.
Yeah.
and you
I-
push the button and
These
just go.
It should have been like air, like confetti explosion, like they like fake bricks flying out. You know that's what,
See, once again, in a darker stadium, you have the ability to do projection mapping,
Yeah.
and, you know, because it was like you said, it was like a play set where it's like you hit this and the little wall in the Star Wars, fort like falls over, the Death Star
Yep.
comes apart,
and
on
because
you.
it's daytime, you can see everyone.
yeah,
So you can't like darken the arena to put the onus on them. Like it's just like you can see dudes like eating and like, oh, fuck, Snoop, that's cool.
All the people wearing masks.
Yeah, a lot of masks.
yeah. Did you guys see any of the people over on like TikTok and stories that were in SoFi? They were like, "This is what it sounded like if you were there."
Oh yeah.
They couldn't hear.
I heard it was terrible.
You couldn't hear it at all.
I believe it.
Our buddy Ken was there working with Zed and said it was just like the worst sound. My favorite part about it was Ken's posted a story of a time lapse of them bringing all the
That
stuff
was cool.
out.
That was cool.
So like got to see it in like 10 seconds and it was just like a field and then it was a set in 10 time lapse seconds. Like damn, that looks so cool.
Yeah.
So the way time lapse worked, Nick, that wasn't actually 10 seconds.
Hold on,
So although that would be impressive,
keep going.
they take
Keep going.
a time lapse
No,
is going
keep
to take
going.
an elongated thing.
Okay, how long?
And they're kind of break it down.
Yeah.
A 10-second one, I would assume, is probably
This guy.
in the 3 to 4 minutes. So sort of, yeah,
Depending
cool.
on the speed.
Yeah.
Because of being in the network, I knew that Zed was going to be there DJing, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." That like a friend of the friends there. And then they showed him going into commercial break, and it was the most anticlimactic thing ever. He's just like, I mean, I know him as this dude that goes to like Vegas and has like massive production and day party, night party. Like the guy just like crushes it, right? Brings the vibe. They had him at a DJ booth, like next to the wall, like with one video board, and they're like, "There's Zed," and he just goes, and they're like, "He's playing music," and it was literally just one part of an AC/DC song, and that's it. That's all you saw. I'm like, wow, how anticlimactic.
And what's fucking amazing for him is he got paid more than all of the halftime performers.
That's
Because
awesome.
he for sure was like, he for sure got paid because he's not the halftime guy.
Yeah.
The halftime people we know make nothing.
right.
So
Yeah,
he's
like
just
where's your production? He's all plug it in.
Ken has a cord for that. So
Yeah,
just plug it in and let's rip.
How crazy is it though that the NFL doesn't pay for halftime?
You know what else they don't pay for? Anything. The list of what the NFL demands for you to host the Super Bowl is bananas. It's like
NFL writer.
And it's like legit crazy. It's like 1,000 hotel rooms for a week leading up to the Super Bowl, free of charge.
Wow.
We need X amount of people need to come into your city 3 months before to check all kinds of wild stuff. Every bit of their travel has to be paid for by the city. They have like how Disney has a perimeter that a helicopter can't fly.
Yeah.
They have the same thing, that nothing can happen within like 2 or 3 miles of the Super Bowl. Like no events, they dictate everything that happens that day miles around the venue. Like,
wow.
It's crazy, the rider that they have.
Imagine having that much power that you can just start throwing things at the wall.
Yeah.
And the city of Los Angeles, like, what else?
Yeah. Like,
we need this so bad. And the funny thing is like, LA doesn't need a Super Bowl. You could not tell that it was here.
No.
If that was in Cincinnati, people would have been going nuts. The whole thing would have got shut down. In LA, it was just business as usual.
It was the best joke was Conan O'Brien said, it's going to be really interesting to see if LA travels to LA for the Super Bowl.
Hey, I was in the airport on Friday before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I was expecting to see a ton of like Super Bowl things or whatever. I saw one shitty little table with blue and yellow like beads that they were giving out. And then a mask.
Take your sweatshirt off?
I took my sweatshirt off.
Let me get the beads.
And that was it.
Wow.
That's all I
Go
saw.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, they did decorate the Hollywood sign.
Oh, my God.
Did you
I
see
didn't,
that?
I didn't see this. No.
Okay, so they took the Hollywood sign, and the idea was to make it say Rams House.
What?
Yeah, which is the worst phrase ever because
That's the worst phrase ever when you have roommates at your house.
yes, they Airbnb out SoFi so the Chargers can show up every other weekend and play their little football games. So they decided to make the Hollywood sign say Rams House, but they did it in the worst way ever. They printed banners and they hung it over the letters, but the letters are on the side of, that hill.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of staggered.
Right.
And the kerning was completely off.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Outside of the white letters, they had like a digi print that was supposed to just be like camouflage that looked like, the dirt. Because, sometimes the hill's green, sometimes it's kind of burnt because of,
California.
climate.
Yes.
It looks horrible. It looks absolutely
Can't wait to
horrible.
see this.
And it took them forever.
Took so long. They should have hired Hollyweed guy.
Yeah, Hollywood.
yeah.
Hollyweed would have had it freaking
For
looking
sure.
great.
I mean, it goes to show the criminals always know how to get things done.
True.
Absolutely.
On a budget, too.
So I saw the Rams parade at Disneyland on Monday.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford, they looked just numb. They were just literally like going down Main Street, just like numb.
Hey, got to be one of those things that 1 week ago when Disney hits them with like, okay, you're going to be the 3 guys. If you win,
Yep.
your whole family's going. You get that, and you're like, absolutely. And then at like 7 a.m. on Monday, and you've been partying for like 14 hours, you're like, oh, we have to.
Yeah, we signed a contract.
I did sign that, Connie. Yep.
Yeah. So
Rad.
they went down Main Street and then they did a little meet and greet. Well, not a meet, like fans couldn't meet them, but they were doing an interview with them up at the castle. And they literally just looked like, I'm like, these are guys that are performers, right?
Yeah.
Like they're on the biggest stage on TV. It looked like they'd never seen people before. And then on Wednesday, when they did the parade in LA, Aaron Donald's got his shirt off. He's got a bottle of champagne.
Yeah.
It was like clearly when you catch Super Bowl winners, the very next day,
Not
they're
the day.
shell shocked.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Tuesday's
someone
the
says, "This is fucking Disneyland. There's no champagne shirtless situation."
Yeah.
Oh, if he would have
He's
been,
like,
if Aaron
I got 2 angles. I'm at church or I'm shirtless with champagne.
Yeah.
You choose.
Whichever one you want.
Yeah, because Stafford today had a cigar in his hand, and
Oh, yeah.
he was.
Yeah.
You see the Tom Brady tweet towards him.
What did Tom Brady say?
He told him, he's like, mix in some water. Trust me, or something like that.
Because remember, Tom was
Yeah.
notably like stumbling out of the
Yeah, he
parade.
was fucked up.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting to see him, and when they came through, like I felt super excited for Aaron Donald. Like amazing player, absolutely deserved to have a Super Bowl victory in his run. And then I looked over at Matt Stafford. I'm like, he was playing for the Lions last year.
Yeah.
Like a Super Bowl was like me dreaming of being rich and famous. It was so impossible.
For 12 years, dude.
He was drafted in the league by them 12 years. Had a 46% winning rate with them. 3 playoff victories or 3 playoff appearances, 0 victories, and just you switch your scenery. But the worst thing is Jared Goff. They literally just switched quarterbacks.
Yep.
Detroit took LA's, LA took Detroit's, and Jared Goff, it was probably just being like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah. It was me. Yep. I was the problem.
That's supposed to be me.
Oh, he had a chance, though. I mean, they went to the show with him, and he couldn't.
He couldn't do anything. I also saw someone post, who was the guy that wasn't a quarterback that threw a touchdown pass?
Oh, wow. You just paused my brain.
Sorry,
there.
I forget his name.
Do you know? Who?
That he has more Super Bowl touchdown passes than Aaron Rodgers in the last 10 years.
Oh,
that's sad. Damn.
Tough but true, folks.
I just find myself rooting for scores.
Oh.
For squares, you mean?
For scores, for the square. I just do math.
Doing it for the square?
I'm doing math the whole time of how to get to my numbers.
I just hear Brian.
God.
We need to stop at 2 field goals. Come on now.
I would love to be inside Brian's brain watching the math go.
Yeah, when you pull a 5 and you're like, how do I get to 5? How do I need 25, 50? How do I,
Yeah, Heather did a charity one, and she's like, we have 5 and 6. And I'm just like... She's like, so what has to happen?
6 is easy, 5 at 5
I'm like, you're going to want like
we're looking for a touchback and a field goal.
Yeah, a lot of field goals. You're up for a 15-6 score here.
Charity one. How much money do we have riding on this charity square, Biggie?
I have no idea. I didn't do it. She probably won and just doesn't know, knowing her.
That would be amazing.
For sure. They called her number. They're like, oh,
Say, I got a weird text. I don't know.
No, in 8 years, she's going to find a check in a drawer.
It's been accruing.
And she's going to be like, this expired 2 weeks ago. Remember the squares? I won $5,000 at that thing.